It is so thrilling that we're both having our babies the same month by surrogate mothers.
Yes, well, it is some experience.
You know, this surrogate mother thing is really quite wonderful.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Surrogacy Experts React. So I am Jess, and today I am joined by Mickey. Hi. And Mickey is here in our headquarters in Birmingham today. So we are going to watch a couple of videos together and see how we react. So Mickey, do you want to tell us about the first one we're going to watch?
Yes, we're going to look at an SNL live sketch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, an SNL live sketch, but about surrogacy, but back in 1981. So it should be interesting.
Should be very interesting. Okay.
Before we dive in, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks.
All right, let's watch. Oh my gosh, look at those hairstyles.
Carol, it is so wonderful to see you. Come on in. Here, let me take your coat.
Oh,
You look great.
so do you.
Tell me, sweetheart, when is your baby due?
2 weeks. I'm so excited.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Mine's due any day now. You know, it is so thrilling that we're both having our babies the same month by surrogate mothers.
Yes, well, it is some experience.
You know, this surrogate mother thing is really quite wonderful. You know, when I had my first two, it was really quite a bother. And I told my husband, Tom, flat out, if we're going to have another baby, I'm not carrying it myself.
Well, this is my first, and I'm a little nervous.
Oh, everything will be just fine. Excuse me a minute. Verna, how many times do I have to tell you don't smoke while you're carrying my baby? Honestly, it is so hard to get surrogate mothers these days. You know, you have to watch them 24 hours a day. Otherwise, there goes your baby. You know,
This is like less Saturday Night Live and more Handmaid's Tale-esque, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like,
This is exactly the vibe. So,
ugh. Okay. I hope everybody watching knows that this is unacceptable, unacceptable.
on so many levels,
So many levels.
not happening nowadays. Obviously, it's not how it goes.
No,
Right.
no, not at all. Oh, God. Yeah, definitely getting Serena vibes from this one.
Verna, have you been doing your breathing exercises?
Yes, Miss Arnold. You know, she's always like that. This has been 9 months of pure hell.
It's a rough business.
This surrogate motherhood ain't what it's cracked up to be, baby.
Baby, hey, don't even say that word to me. My woman wanted me to have a natural childbirth. I said, no way.
Mine's always after me, talking about don't smoke and don't drink. Shoot. And her baby's just like her, always kicking and complaining.
Well, what?
I will say,
Wow, I agree with that.
yeah, that is one thing I agree with.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, the health risk with smoking and drinking while you're pregnant is huge. And surrogates or anybody having a child shouldn't do that, in my opinion. Obviously, medical
Yeah.
society anyways.
Yes, I think that's pretty standard, and I think it is also well within intended parents' rights to want to ensure that their surrogate is not smoking and drinking, and that's something that any reputable agency will screen against more and reinforce, and is usually actually in the contract as well.
Contract. Correct. Yeah. Usually surrogates in general shouldn't be drinking or smoking, and the intended parents are absolutely right in requesting that. Jim.
I do agree on that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is so weird.
Why do you put up with her?
I need a job. What else can I do?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Obviously, this is a sketch, but the surrogates that comes forward and they do this it's just such a huge thing. And I'm sure, well, I know for a fact, like they don't feel like this is a job. And yes, they get compensated, but
No. No, it's not a job. They're like, you would not become a surrogate just because you needed the money. And if you are becoming a surrogate just because you needed the money, you're certainly not going to be working with an agency like MSJ.
correct.
You shouldn't be working with any reputable agency, certainly in the US. And I will say that is one thing, particularly to look out for. As you said, Mickey, like compensated surrogacy is a thing. Yes, of course, like, surrogates are putting themselves forward to do something huge. And in the US and Mexico, surrogacy is compensated. In the UK, it's altruistic.
Yeah.
But it is not a job. And actually, I did the math once with a reproductive endocrinologist
Oh, yeah.
looking at surrogacy compensation in the US. And I think and this was a couple years ago when surrogacy compensation was lower. And it's not, surrogates are not getting minimum wage, right? Like that's not how to look at, like they're definitely not getting minimum wage for what they are giving to somebody, and what they're doing for somebody. So yeah, any good agency will screen out surrogates who are just doing it for the compensation.
Yeah. Let's watch.
Yeah. We thought this was going to be a funny one, too, right? We were like, SNL, hooray!
You're in the driver's seat. Hey, watch this. Hey, Sterile Carol, how about a cup of coffee on the double?
Sterile Carol.
Sterile Carol. That's so harsh. And it's just so unacceptable. Wow.
Like, that's awful. Like, this is
We just have to think like this is
81.
1981. So give a little grace. They didn't know anything about it. But it's like, it's amazing to just call somebody Sterile Carol and we're dealing with real people that are unfortunately going through infertility and having to look into surrogacy for to have children. And Sterile Carol, that's harsh.
Oh my God, that's so harsh. Just calling somebody sterile and the person. Oh, it's just so. Oh, it's so.
Cringe.
It's just so inhumane. Like it's a really. I don't like that word. It's just so clinical.
It's very.
It doesn't acknowledge like the grief and the humanity and the emotions around it, like behind it, I think.
You shouldn't let your surrogate drink coffee.
Now, Louise, you shouldn't be drinking coffee when you're carrying.
Well, how'd you like me to do a belly flop over there? Yeah, that's better. Oh, Carol, I meant to tell you I want more money.
Now, that's not fair. We agreed on a fee before.
Yeah? Well, how'd you like your baby to have a whiff of this?
My baby! No.
First of all, I mean, nowadays you can have a little bit of coffee or caffeine when you're pregnant, but obviously based off of your doctor's recommendation, your health history and all that comes into play. I do agree, no caffeine, but that's my personal view on it. But the whole fee thing, I mean, there's legal in place. There is like, it's like a legal document. And so this is the agreed upon fee. Right?
It's a binding contract. Yes, either in the US or Mexico City, it's a legally binding contract. The fee is agreed in advance. The payment structure is agreed in advance. Some agencies allow for kind of negotiation during the contracting phase. Some agencies don't. MSJ, we set our surrogates fees in Mexico City. Other agencies do allow for that. But yeah, no surrogate should be exploiting intended parents.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, or vice versa for their fee. But speaking about this case, no surrogate should basically be blackmailing.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it
It is literally,
blackmailing. I'm holding your baby hostage. Look at me doing this. Yes. And it's,
No.
not good.
No, sign that contract.
No, I'll give you more money.
This is ridiculous. You shouldn't let her push you around like this.
Lady, you know you're boring me. And when I get bored, I take LSD.
All surrogates are also drug tested. We should get it.
You don't scare her.
Katie, shut up. Louise, you're driving me crazy. I can't take this anymore. I wish Tom and I had never heard of artificial insemination.
What makes you think Tom used artificial insemination?
Well, that does it. The deal is off. I don't even want the baby. Well, what about my money? The deal is off.
Whoa, there's so many things to unpack.
Which one do you want to? Which one do you want to start with?
Look, oh my God. It's like, so artificial insemination. Was it a thing back then?
Maybe like turkey basting.
Turkey
I mean, it's basically IUIs is kind of artificial insemination. What we would call an IUI now, intrauterine insemination. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the deal is off, so you were just kind of like saying, I don't want this baby anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the parents can't do that.
you can't do that.
No.
Again, legal, but again, this is like 1981. Let's just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yes. And we should also say, just kind of going back to the artificial insemination, we knew this was before IVF. So these are clearly predicting like traditional surrogacy, where the surrogate is not a gestational surrogate.
So the birth mother is
Yeah.
carrying the child.
Yeah, so they're basically the egg donor and the surrogate. So their surrogate would be biologically related to the child. Yeah. And that is not something that we at MSJ do. In fact, it's not legal in most states. I actually don't know if it's legal in Mexico. I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either. And definitely not legal in many states in the U.S., if not the entire country.
Yeah, because then it goes from surrogacy to adoption.
Correct.
Basically, which is
A whole different
ballgame.
ballgame that we don't hold it.
we don't get involved in. For people who are adopting parents, it's a wonderful thing that you are doing. But yeah, surrogacy and adoption are something very different. But yes. What is also interesting though is like the power play dynamics here. I mean, and you've seen a lot of like intended parent and surrogate relationships. Like, is this?
It doesn't depict anything that we're seeing. I've ever seen this before. It's just, a lot of the surrogates and their intended parents that I've managed their journeys it's just, it flourishes and they become actual family members.
Yeah, and it can be really nice. I mean, there are obviously everybody's personal relationship is different, especially when you're working in such a high. What's the word that I'm looking for? Like an emotionally sensitive, and you're like, yes, there's a lot of pressure and stuff like that. And I think what's really interesting to me is like this whole who's controlling whose behavior, because I do see like particularly from an intended parent perspective, I think a lot of intended parents can feel very strongly that loss of control, because you can't, there's very little that you can control in a surrogacy process, like in an IVF process, right? You clearly can't control the surrogate. You can't control IVF, and I think I think for people, particularly maybe who have gone through IVF, like having that loss of control, they might not recognize that that's what it is, but it makes them feel really uncomfortable. Yeah. And so the situations where I've seen personally, where there is a temporary breakdown in kind of communication or relationship between surrogates and intended parents. And like you said, most of the time, surrogates and intended parents become family. But sometimes it is when intended parents do try and retain a little bit too much control over like the surrogate and like what she's eating, her lifestyle and everything like that. And
what kind of food she's eating. I want you to eat healthy, only vegan food. And
or don't go to get McDonald's or anything like that. So I like this is obviously really extreme, but I do think, to be fair to them, there is something, it is a worthy thing to just comment that, having that loss of control about your own fertility can be a really difficult thing for a lot of intended parents. Can sometimes, hopefully not often, but can sometimes manifest in trying to control a surrogate in her behavior and her pregnancy and her diet or whatever. And that's one of the reasons, like at MSJ, why we include all the emotional support health, right?
And it's very, very, very much needed and helpful, both the intended parents and the surrogates.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, just thought I'd point that out.
The deal's off. Now what do I do? Don't look at me, honey, because I don't know nothing about birthing no babies.
Wasn't expecting that at the end.
Yeah, that it definitely caught me off guard. So is she a first-time surrogate and a first-time mom at the same time? Like she's never been pregnant before. So I know a lot of, we at MSJ, we definitely don't, work with surrogates who have not had their own child before and or their own children, sorry.
Yeah.
Before. And so, so we can see what the pregnancy was, what the delivery records showed to make sure that everything went well. So yeah, that's
Yes, that was an interesting surprise. Yeah, that's yeah. So anybody who's coming through MSJ on our Mexico program, yeah, your surrogate will have been a parent before, and she's had to have a healthy pregnancy. And again, in the U.S., that is a I don't know if is it a legal requirement or is it just a clinical requirement for pretty much any fertility? It might be an FDA or SRM requirement.
I've worked with clinics who said it was okay. I think it's really, as long as they have a strong legal document that says this is definitely not your child. I've worked with clinics that actually didn't mind using a surrogate, but it was like
a surrogate who hadn't been pregnant. Okay, interesting.
Right, but typically it's really not legal. I can't say. I want to double check on that, but it's not legal for you to have a surrogate who has not been pregnant before.
I mean, maybe if it's like a family member or a friend.
Yeah, and it was a family member, so
it's a risk, is right? It's a risk because you don't know if
what the pregnancy, how would be developed. Are you the emotions behind it, because you're also like tying into this child growing inside of you, and also like, are you going to regret having this process done because this is the first time you're feeling the aches and pains of being pregnant, if ever? And so there's a lot in there. So yeah.
I don't know if I was quite expecting the episode to be like that. But I will say, really interesting that SNL covered that in 1981.
1981, that's amazing.
Wow.
Amazingly weird, but
amazingly weird. Yep, you are right. Well, anyway, thank you for watching along with us. If you found this really interesting or have anything that you want to share, we would love to hear your comments in the comment box below. Yep, please keep it kind and remember to be respectful of everybody and their discussions. Please also like, subscribe, share, and click the notification bell to be informed of our future videos if you found this one interesting or fun or useful or helpful. So thanks for watching. Bye.
bye.